Hello, everybody. So another video today that I wanted to make. And again, it's going to be a mix, of a bit of motivational content, as well, being a video content creator, and the I don't know, maybe might talk about a bit of history or daily events. Today's for me has been a positive day. I mean, did my full-time worker, just as they say 9 to 5, but just doing in 8 to 4 work, working as an IT analyst, and at the same time just working on making a living, right? I mean, isn't everybody making a living, right? Of course. The other thing too, just I had a great discussion with a fellow contact at LinkedIn. I think it really went well. I mean, kind of breaking the ice and explaining myself, what I do, what my job is, my functions, what even what my ambitions, But these are all, again, positive things, right? That I did today, and that I believe anybody can do. Where, like as I said, where there's a will, there's a way. You can do anything that your heart desires. One has to put the effort into what they want to achieve. If you have to set your goals, sure, go ahead. You want to set realistic goals, right? And make them in steps. Think of it like as like, I want to get to this point. Okay, you do your goal. You go through your goals. Either it can take days, it can take weeks, it can take months, years, right? And then you reevaluate. You say, okay, have I achieved that goal or not? If you haven't achieved it, it's not the end of the world, right? You move on to the next the next step. Think of it as like peaks of a mountain, right? You haven't went to this step. Okay, now you have to climb another step. Or another saying that, again, I had the conversation, is what we call moving goalposts, right? Because it happens, right? We are human, and we either we make mistakes, we go forward, and then after that, well, okay, we have to go a couple steps backwards, but again, reevaluate the situation, and then from there say, okay, I've done this, and then now what do I have to do in order to achieve the next results? And then from there, you move on. If you have to do research, sure. The internet is a great treasure trove, right? The internet is a huge library, where you could perform your research and find answers, right? Because you have questions, okay, right? There are the answers there. The other thing too is utilize AI, because AI will really help you out. Whether if it's for work, whether it's for educational purposes, or whether it's just for fun, for fun, for entertainment. Like for myself, doing some video content, I utilize AI, but I use it to my advantage, right? Because I do the research, right? And then from that research, using either the internet, Google, and then with it as well with AI, and then work on that. So what I want to ask everybody, questions about, what do you think, maybe it might get a little bit more philosophical. I mean, yeah, like I'll speak in front of the camera, like about life in general. What makes you take the next initiative? Because sometimes we may, have some blocks, right? Writer's block, right? Because, like, for example, authors. Like, it's amazing. I find it so amazing how, novelists, science fiction authors, nonfiction authors, how they come up with ideas and they make multiple books. And, it takes a lot of effort, to come up with all that. But there's motivation behind that because, it may be intimidating at first, but when you put your pen in the paper, right, old-fashioned, or on a computer, using like a word processor, write down the ideas that come to your mind, and then from there you come up with like a story, right? A story could be fictional, or a story of your life, biography, autobiography. It could be historical events. It could be political events. I mean, it's a non-stop thing, process, because you have to do something like authors, right? They need to continue to do this in order to, if it's their livelihood, right? They need to do this to make a living. And I find it really fascinating, right? That they come up with all these ideas. And the same thing with films, directors, right? Screenwriters. There's so much ideas that they have to come up with to eventually make a script and then turn that script into a movie or a TV series or a documentary, right? There's all this effort in doing this. Just like me doing this video. I want to do this, right? From the bottom of my heart, right? I want to reach out to like-minded individuals that may have the same sort of idea as I do, or maybe my videos, to inspire others to start their video content journey, or their writing, or their scripts, creating movies or documentaries, whatever. I mean, if I can do this, and those that watch my video and like what what I'm saying, and it inspires them to do things, I feel grateful. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to help you out. That's what I want to do. Just like the same thing with you. If I watch your videos and then I'm inspired by it, or it gives me ideas, sure, I would say thank you. Because of watching your videos, I was able to do things. And again, it's a non-stop, like continuous, and it's all like, persevering, right? It's all persevering in doing something, for yourself, for others, right? It's something to reflect on. Like, for example, let's see, for example, hey, I go on YouTube and I see my video, and then, hey, I say, maybe I'll watch the video that I've done of myself and look at it, and then and maybe even I can critique it, right? Because, hey, it's great, like to like a video, and it's also great to critique a video. Okay, maybe I said something or that is maybe not accurate, and that I learn from, and I say, okay, I got to do a better job, in doing the next video, right? So this is all a learning experience, and this learning experience is to help me make myself a better person, and to also engage, and to even help others as well. Because I think we as a species are here to help each other, to come together in a communion, right? And let's say, melding of the minds, right? Because the more we come together with and come up with ideas together, then we can come up with something which will help, each other out. So this is, my take of learning and staying positive and continually being motivated to do this. Because, I mean, I can easily just hang this up, and say, that's it, I don't want to do it anymore. But on the other side, I'm like, and my other mode of thinking, saying, like, why do you want to stop this? You're actually doing something great. And yeah, I think it's something that's that will probably achieve results. So today, like I was, talking with some colleagues, now I'm really interested in for astronomy, and we were talking about, for example, like pulsars or quasars, and the amount of energy that they produce, or for example, how they have developed, through multiple telescopes, an area that's like just a dark area, which they call the deep field. And through these telescopes, they actually came up with a result where you could see, like, we're talking like light years from point A to point B in this one picture. And you could see all these little galaxies. I mean, and if you think about it, this is just one section of a window, imagine. And that one section of a window is just like, like it could be a couple light years. And what you're seeing, obviously, is, if you calculate the amount of light years, right, of how the light travels from that object to seeing it, tremendous. Like, maybe from what you're seeing is you're probably seeing it millions of years ago, which is like just fascinating, right? It's just incomprehensible. But here we are, we're existing and we're actually seeing this. Or another thing, for example, is saw another article again. This is related to astronomy, where they talk about this thing called a Dyson sphere, and supposedly what they are is they're like pretty much it's this energy. It's an energy system where you take, like, take a star, and through this Dyson sphere, you turn it into an energy source. Like, maybe, I guess you can say, sort of like, like a nuclear fusion, obviously, pretty much. So imagine all that energy from this Dyson sphere. And this Dyson sphere, I don't know how the size of it. I mean, like, think about it. If you can build it, the size of a planet, for God's sakes. I mean, the amount of energy that you can create to power something, I don't know. I mean, obviously, it would be extraterrestrial because it's outside of the Earth. Now, that's something. I mean, this site, Dyson spheres, I hear them in science fiction, like in Star Trek. But who knows? Like, do they actually existing? Is there actually, I don't want to say man-made, because if there's Dyson spheres that do exist and it's not created by us, well, humankind, it's another intelligent being or intelligent life form that has created this, because, thinking about, the universe here, if we're alone in this vast universe where we're just maybe a minuscule, just the size of an atom, like, I mean, I don't know, because I've never seen, I mean, others have said that, they've seen, extraterrestrial or something, maybe, let's say, interstellar beings, or higher dimensional beings, if you want to call it that. I mean, I don't know, right? I am human. Like I said, I've never witnessed it, but if I have witnessed it, I would tell you straight out. And say, like, well, hey, but just the science, just if you just look at the science and the facts, a theory is a hypothesis. That's the beauty, right, of that. Mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology. I mean, I've just watched the last Joe Rogan podcast. He was he was interviewing a shout out to debunking Dan Richards, and they were mentioning about like Mars, how they have they're seeing these structures like like little square structures, and like a cone shape, right in the same area where they say, I'm sure you've heard about that the face of the face on Mars, it's all in that same area. I mean, I don't know, it could be natural erosion, who knows? But just, you have all these coincidences, right? Kind of makes you think about, what's really out there, if Mars, if millions of years ago, if there was something different. Again, like we were not around millions of years ago, and how was Earth during that time? Think about it. They in a hypothesis or theory, they say that dinosaurs, went extinct 65 million years ago. So we're talking millions of years. I mean, what happened before that? And then the approximate age of the Earth, they're saying like 4, maybe 4.5 billion years. What happened before that? Was there other planetary systems, in a Goldilocks zone? Like when I say Goldilocks, being a habitable zone within our star that had an atmosphere, had an ocean, possibly even life. Who knows? Nobody knows. Because again, it's all theoretical, right? Just like millions of years from now, billion years from now, would they, whoever at that time, look back and say, hey, did we exist? Humankind, and if something happens to the Earth and maybe in another planetary system or another planet, that gets created, we're talking billions of years, they say, hey, and if Earth becomes like what Mars is, was there a civilization back then? This is actually an interesting concept to think about. But it's really an interesting thought, about this. And the same thing goes, when other solar systems, other galaxies, are there other solar systems where there's other planets, around its star, and then from there, some planets are within a habitable zone that has life. Again, it's just a theory, and that, for me as a person, I think about. So it's just a interesting time that we are living in, where we have all the science, the technology, AI, computers, robotics, probes, things that are helping us, as humans, to actually investigate, right? Seek out, search, right? He's nothing wrong with all this, right? And all this is just through if it all goes back to motivation. So all this is because we are motivated to achieve results, right? We're motivated to come up with something that will benefit humankind, so that we will survive, we will last for generations or millennia, right? I mean, it's not, I mean, I don't think it'd be wise, to go against each other, divide, conquer, wars, destroy each other for what, all for naught? No. It's good to live in unity, right? Instead of chaos. And from there, we adapt, we evolve organically or technologically, so that, we leave a footprint, right? For others, to look back and say, this is, what we have achieved through our motivation. And that's what, I'm trying to achieve here to the viewers here. Everybody has opinions, right? And it's normal, right? It's natural and it's normal to have opinions. It's normal to even have debates, right? And say, you are wrong. Okay, I'm wrong. Why am I wrong? Right, just tell me, why am I wrong? I want to learn, right? From you, right? The viewer. Because from there, then I'll look, I was like, at what I say or what I do, and I say, yeah, that is an interesting concept. Never thought of that. And guess what? I learned from it. Just like other videos that I may view and say, okay, well, I have opinions to that. Maybe I think that's a little bit not correct. I don't agree. But again, right? It's okay, right, to disagree and make your own judgment and opinions, right? We all learn from each other and come up with new theories and new hypotheses. All scientists have done that, right? They've proven and they've disproven previous, scientists. Inventions, right? Inventions have been created, and inventions also have been improved. I mean, think about it, in the last century, just the last century, how much we have evolved. Like if you think about the 1900s, they didn't have the transistor. They didn't have the car, right? Right? They didn't have computers. They didn't have a cell phone or tablet devices. There is no internet. Everything was all, again, horse and buggy. Everything was done like, through natural labor. But throughout all that time, we've learned. Now, some say that, all this last 100 years, because if you think about it, thousands of years or 1,000 years, why didn't they develop computers or cars or microchips or satellites? Like, why just now, all of a sudden, we have all this information and that we're able to blast a rocket up into the sky, into space, going to the moon in just a short period of our life, of our lifetime. When thousands of years ago, ancient Egyptians, for example, they built the pyramids, and megalithic structures that even scientists and geologists and archaeologists, can't comprehend, how they did this. Like, we have all the tools and we can't even move like, one 20-ton megalithic structure. Or, for example, like another good example, Machu Picchu. You see how it looks like almost like a staircase or something like that. Like how they built that, which is, it's all questions, right? I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe there was some sort of lost technology, right? But again, we don't have the proof, right? Nothing is left, like, and there's no blueprints saying, how this was done. And perhaps maybe in the future, that technology or that method, will come back, and then we'll be able to build pyramids or megalithic structures again, and through AI, for example. Maybe AI might solve things. Like, I just recently saw an article where they had these ancient, like, 2,000-year-old scrolls, which just if you try to unravel it will just disintegrate. And now they're using AI to actually now try to, I guess, I don't know, maybe through X-ray or some sort of technological means, to look into that rolled up scroll, see the actual text, and then decipher it. Now that's a great achievement, in my personal opinion, if that happens. Or AI, helping in terms of medicine, right? Curing diseases. This will help doctors, right? Right? I mean, this is all new stuff that, we are learning. Again, how is this brought about? We go back to that again, motivation, right? Because you're motivated to create something. And I want to say, like, for the benefit, right, of humankind, because that's what we should achieve. Because once we are able to do that, then after that we can move on, right? Like, what I'm saying, move on, like, is maybe because, like, think interplanetary, come into a union, right? Working together like a united front. And then we move outward. Because the Earth is such a a fragile planet. I mean, anything can happen to this blue ball that we live in. Like, we have to take this for granted, of what we have, all the technology that we have. And then from there, use it to help us, right? Use it to save us. Use it to save our planet. Because and everything is unpredictable. Anything can happen. But through our collective ideas, we can come up with something together and make this a better world. Right? Right? Success. Right? We want to be successful. We achieve results, but through success, we will achieve amazing results. So tell me what you think of, in regards to, like, what do you, in your mind, like, what is motivation to you? And do you think, like, if all the stuff that we have done here through the ages, through inventions and what we're doing now and in the future, will this, help us, right, to in evolving into a better society, or better a better humankind? Let me know in the comments, and then let's discuss, right? Because we are here together. We're learning from each other and helping each other succeed, right? Being kind to each other, because that's what we need in the end. If you like this video, as well, like this video, subscribe, to my channel. I will be writing more content, and something that we can learn together, right, in this existence, and for this generation, and for future generations. So thank you for watching, all. Talk to you soon.